Facebook. Welcome to the very first episode of the Sports Deprived Minute. I am Dylan Bain.
I am Braden Bain.
And we are here to talk about sports, play music, do whatever in the world we feel like doing. So, today's episode is sponsored by Pencil Rocket Creative. Pencil Rocket Creative is a marketing agency. They offer web development, graphic design, content writing, and digital media production. Pencil Rocket is the creative and technical team to market your next great idea. We are also sponsored by Simpson Studios. Simpson Studios is an audio recording studio based out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. For just $250 and with discounts for larger projects, you can get a fully mixed and perfectly mastered product to send to your fans. So today we are going to talk about the Oklahoma Sooners football crew. We're going to talk about what they should be doing on this off week, and we're also going to get into Baker Mayfield and his run into the Heisman. Let's see if he's going to make it into the Heisman. We're also going to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder, what they have done over not only this last week, but over the whole offseason. This week they made some big moves. Braden, why don't you talk about just this last week, what the Thunder has done, just for people who might not know.
Just this last week, they acquired Carmelo Anthony from the New York Knicks to send over Enes Kanter and Doug McDermott. Brought back Carmelo. Everybody's excited. Created a new big three of Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and Carmelo Anthony. Everyone's really excited.
Yeah. So what did the Thunder have to do to, say, get Paul George? Let's talk about that. What did the Thunder have to do?
Well, they sent over Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis. Mm-hmm. Two guys they picked up year before at the NBA draft. Sent over Serge Ibaka to the Magic. Got Victor Oladipo and picked up Sabonis with their draft pick.
Yeah. So what about Carmelo Anthony? How did we get him?
Sent over Enes Kanter and Doug McDermott. He's been having troubles with the front office last couple of years, and he's been wanting to trade. Everybody thought it was the Cavs. Everybody thought it was the Rockets. And then the Thunder just swooped in and picked him up. Okay,
so what do these two guys, Carmelo Anthony and Paul George, bring to the OKC Thunder?
They bring much-needed help to Westbrook. Last year, he just did it all by himself. He broke the record of triple-doubles because he basically had to keep him winning. Mm-hmm. That's how he got to the playoffs. Their second scoring option was, Victor Oladipo, and he really, his scoring wasn't that spectacular. Mm-hmm. Their next best player scoring-wise is probably Enes Kanter, and he was only coming off the bench.
Yeah.
So he really needed the extra help. When he lost Durant, that's a big piece to lose. So he needed, a void to fill.
Yeah. It seems like whenever Kevin Durant left, Russell kind of took over his, leadership. Would you agree with that? Like KD was like the main guy, and then he kind of had to fill his shoes.
Yeah, Durant was here, this whole entire career with Westbrook. It was like Durant's the leader and Westbrook's his sidekick. Mm-hmm. And then, Durant shocked everyone and they went to Golden State, so everybody had to turn to Westbrook. And mm-hmm. he was the leader of the team. Everybody looked up to him, and I feel like he did well as the leader. He inspired these guys and inspired this front office to make him want to keep him, make him want to stay. That led to these big moves of Paul George and Anthony.
Yeah, he was a big part, people would say, of getting Paul George and Carmelo, right?
Yeah, all this offseason, he's been working out with them, going to pickup games with Carmelo and all those other guys. And, Carmelo Anthony even said, in his press conference, media day, he said that, Westbrook was a big part in bringing him there. You want to play with Westbrook, he wants to. That's his biggest thing is he wants to play with Westbrook in OKC.
Yeah, that's a big thing. When you have a guy that can, like Westbrook, that can pull in these talents like Paul George or Carmelo Anthony, that's a really big deal. So Paul George, in particularly, how does he fit into this team? What's his role going to be this next season?
He's going to be their best two-way player. He's going to, on the defensive end, he's going to be guarding guys like Kevin Durant, LeBron James. He's also going to be another playmaker on the offensive end. It's probably the second scoring option. Behind Westbrook, and Westbrook's going to be playing the point, obviously. He's going to be the number one playmaker. And And it's going to be up to Paul George and Carmelo Anthony to pick it up and create open space, get open, hit those open shots. There's going to be open shots. They can't double team because that's going to leave somebody open, and they're going to be killing it on just single coverages.
Yeah. So, Carmelo, what do you think about him?
He's definitely not the player he used to be. I think this is going to be the best move for him. I think he can't lead a team to a championship now. Maybe as a supportive role, this is what it's going to be. But he's going to be that guy where if they want somebody on the court at all times, at least one of those three guys, and he's probably going to be the number one option going with the bench, just because he can create open shots for himself. He can move around with the ball. He can create. He's a shot creator.
Yeah.
And that's what they need coming, with the bench, because they lost their shot creator and his Cantor in that trade, so they're going to need someone to fill that void, and he's going to have to be that guy.
Yeah. So, it's a pretty big deal where OKC, as a city, not only as a city that has an NBA team, but just a city that has never had a professional team before. It's a pretty big deal that these guys like Paul George and Carmelo Anthony want to come and play here. I mean, obviously Russell Westbrook is a big part of that, but the fact that Russell Westbrook, for one, wants to stay here, like he's expressed that with every question when people ask him, are you going to sign the extension? He says, I want to play in Oklahoma City. And the fact that he wants to play here, he can get Paul George and Carmelo Anthony here. That's a big deal. So what do you think this really means for OKC? I mean, we came from, we had the Red Hawks, and then we're here now with these big three guys playing to represent our city. What does that really mean for us, you think?
Even after these guys leave, it's just what they're saying right now is going to play a factor in bringing guys in.
Yeah.
Paul George has already expressed his interest in Oklahoma City. He says he brings a fishing pole everywhere he drives.
Yeah.
Just because he loves fishing here. He loves the fishing around here. Whenever Carmelo arrived, he mentioned, moving from New York to Oklahoma, how big of a jump it is. And he said it's relieving not to see all these big buildings, all these media people. It's not like New York. There's no way. No way it's like New York. And, it's just a different atmosphere. It's just no distractions. It's just focus on basketball. And that's just their number one focus right now. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I think that's really cool. Something unique that Oklahoma City has to offer. I mean, if you go to Bricktown, you go downtown, you get that city feel. Like there's clubs, we have big stadiums. There's something going on every night, live music, all that kind of stuff. And the fact that you drive 20 minutes any direction and you're at a lake and you can fish, go hiking, do whatever. That's really attractive, and it's kind of cool to see that attracts guys that want to play professional basketball to represent our city. So if you guys have any questions or comments, we'd love to take them in the comments section. We are going to play some music now. We will be right back after just a couple of minutes. Hey everybody, thanks for staying tuned. We're going to play a song called Miles. It is an original song, and it's about a girl. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. The taste of your breath, heat of your skin, taking mental pictures of the feelings I get. And I don't want to let this pass, no. Isn't there any other way? I want to fight this, but I can't pull away. Miles and miles, days and days, separate us so far away. Miles and miles, day after day. The sound of your voice, the pictures I get, counting the days till I can see you again. And the fear we have of this distance, separate us. We're so far away, mile after mile, day after day. And I don't want to push too far, and I don't want to stop just short, and I don't want to push too far, stop just short, and I don't want to push too far, and I don't want to stop just short of everything we can have. Miles and miles, days and days separate us. We're so far away, mile after mile, day after day. Miles and miles, days and days separate us. We're so far away, mile after mile, day after day. Yeah, that went smoother than I thought it would. Thank you, Cole Mater. Cole Mater, everybody. Woo! All right. Thanks for playing with me, dude. Stay tuned, and we are going to talk about the Oklahoma Sooners and the bye week that they have had and what they should be working on. Stay tuned.
What is the Thunder's backup PG situation, better or same?
Better, definitely from last year. You got Raymond Felton this year, signed during the offseason. There's going to be a lot of veteran leadership with him, better playmaking. You know, last year they split roles between Samaj Kristen and Norris Cole. Obviously, weren't the best options, so adding Raymond Felton is really going to help that backup point guard position.
All right, awesome. And the next question, and who asked it?
Yeah, Nick Cannon asks, how do you think Westbrook will have to adjust his game now that we have Melo and PG-13? But then he says, a better question is how will PG-13 and Melo have to adjust their games now that they're playing with Westbrook?
Okay, so how will they have to adjust to each other? Okay.
Well, Westbrook, last year he'd try to drive the lane, go up for a layup, for a dunk, or kick it out, and kick it out, there'd be just hardly any shooting. The three-point shooting was terrible last year, so Melo and Paul George are really going to help him with that. He can kick it out more. Guys are going to be driving in, closing into that paint. Whenever he drives in, it's going to leave them wide open. And as for George and Melo, they're good three-point shooters. They can shoot behind the arc. They can create their own shot. They can shoot from mid-range, anything. So even whenever Westbrook drives the lane, they can come with him and he can just roll it off to him, or they can stick out behind the three-point arc and just drain that three. If they can get the chemistry right, it will be really fun to watch.
Yeah. So a question I have to add on to that is their strategy going to change? Will Westbrook? You think he'll be driving more and kicking the ball out to those guys, or do you think it'll just be kind of maybe Melo drives in one time, Paul George drives in, kicks it out to Westbrook, vice versa? Yeah. Do you think the scoring will be even between them, or do you think they're always going to be kicking it out to one in particular person?
Just obviously we run plays, designed for just one player.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be whoever's open. If you can get this guy open, kick it out to him. They can all handle the ball pretty well. You're going to see them a lot of drives of just them handling the ball, not just Westbrook and then just all touching the ball. It's going to be a lot of drives where maybe George handles the ball the entire drive, or Westbrook or Anthony. It's just whatever kind of player, whatever kind of offense they're running. It just depends on that. They should keep at least one guy on the outside behind the arc. Sure. With those three guys on the court together, that should happen. At all times. Yeah.
So, would you say their offense is maybe a little more double threat? Like they have guys that can drive pretty strong, but also they've got the range for the high field goal percentages.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Any more questions, Madeline?
Yeah, Blaine actually asks, now with Cantor gone, who's going to be the Thunder's go-to sixth man?
Good question.
That's my biggest question right now for the Thunder. These guys have to step up. Alex Abrinas or Jeremy Grant. Obviously they acquired Patrick Patterson as well. He's going to be coming off an injury. He just injured his knee last season. Mm-hmm. He's rehabbing right now. But it's going to have to be one of those three guys. I think the first guy to be off the bench would be like Jeremy Grant. He's a good defensive guy, good three-point guy. He's led the team in three-point percentage last year. Oh, wow. That's my biggest guess for the sixth man. But one of those guys is going to have to step up, and hopefully it'll be soon, not just the middle of the season. It's going to have to be all season. Just stick with that guy and just go with whatever works.
Okay. We good? All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Blaine and Nick and Joel. My dad, Joel. Thank you. Next subject, we're going to talk about the Sooners. Like the last segment, if you have any questions about the Sooners, go ahead and ask. Also, ask us anything. We're putting ourselves out there. You can ask how I changed shirts so quickly. I'm pretty proud of that. Okay, we're just going to kick off. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and write them in, and we'll get to all that we can that we have time for. So, OU, the Sooners, their football crew. What are they working on this bye week? They got a bye week this week. Who are they seeing next week?
Iowa State.
Iowa State. Okay. So what are they focusing on? What have they been focusing on all week?
Hopefully with higher intensity. Their defense, I don't know what happened in the first quarter. They seemed fine, and there's something happening. They went up 14-0. Their defense played great. That opening drive before they went up 14-0, and then something happened when maybe it was an injury, something like that. You had two safeties injured, one cornerback in the game, but the intensity level didn't seem that high to me. It looked like they just overlooked Baylor. Watched their first few games and they weren't doing so great.
Yeah.
Baylor, they had their backup QB in. Their starting quarterback got injured a couple weeks ago. I think they kind of overlooked them.
Yeah, especially if they're if that backup quarterback can put up 41 points on them.
Yeah, he outperformed Baker Mayfield. That was the biggest thing. That has to be embarrassing for them. They need to take that and use that for inspiration to, maybe just take one game at a time. Iowa State's going to be probably a little bit tougher than Baylor, I would say. Just you have to bring it to them, more intensity.
Yeah.
Come prepared, everything.
All right, so definitely more intensity. Hopefully we're seeing more intensity for their game with Iowa State this next weekend. Injury reports?
All starters should be healthy. Jordan Thomas, he'll be back. Will Johnson, he's a guy that Mike Stoops really thinks that makes a secondary move around. They do better. Remember, he's the leader on that team. He's a senior leader. He has the big voice for that defense. And he's probably the one that's calling out all the coverages for him, making adjustments, everything like that. So they probably missed him a lot. They definitely missed him a lot. Secondary gave up some big plays.
Yeah.
Gave up 41 points.
Yeah, exactly. So Baker Mayfield, he's kind of been a hot topic lately with the Ohio State deal and everything like that. But also for his Heisman run, what do you think about him getting Heisman this year?
I'd say he has a pretty good chance. Saquon Barkley is leading the race right now. He just jumped over him. He had over 300 all-purpose yards last week.
Oh, wow.
This game with Baylor really hurt him. I wouldn't say hurt him, but he didn't throw any interceptions through 3 touchdowns, I believe, actually. Obviously no interceptions. They got the win, 48 points. But, I heard on the radio yesterday, someone talked with one of the voters because they vote every single week. We just a new poll every single week. And one of the voters said that the biggest reason why he's not voting for him right now is because of his antics. Playing the flag in the middle of Ohio State, smack talking Baylor before the game. Obviously, that stuff before the season happened. In Arkansas, where he ran from the police. That's really hurting him.
Yeah.
People look at that and they don't like it, and you just got to think if you're a voter, who you're going to vote for? A guy who's doing ridiculous things throughout the season, before the season, or this guy that's maybe performing the same way in a different position, but he's kept his act clean. Just played smart. Hasn't ran his mouth. Just played the game the right way.
Who do you want to represent that Heisman Trophy?
Exactly.
I mean, they're not only a talented athlete that who's the best. It's who's the best guy to really represent that Heisman Trophy that's been passed down for I don't even know how many years. But so you think there's any chance? You think he could do anything for people to overlook that? Because I understand, you definitely want, like I said, a guy that can represent, the Heisman Trophy well. Someone people are proud to say, everybody in the NCAA, it's that guy won it, and he's a stellar guy, stellar athlete. Do you think he's just going to have to perform better? Or do you think he'll have to, go out of his way to let people know, hey, I'm a good person? What do you think? What can he do to maybe change some of those votes?
I think his performance is great so far this season. Obviously, you can go 10, 12 touchdowns, no interceptions, first 4 games through the season. That's pretty great. I mean, I don't think he can get much better than that right now. No, I think he's leading the nation in QB rating right now, which is pretty impressive. Last year he set the record. He might set the record again this year for highest QB rating. But he's just going to have to take down his intensity off the field, just smack talking or whether it's playing the flag, just stuff like that. You just focus on the game, each week, just no extra stuff. Just focus on the game entirely. Put that extra energy into the game.
Yeah.
Preparation, everything like that.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's really, I like, that guy that you were talking about that was interviewed that didn't want to vote for Baker, not only because planting the flag, but because stuff that happened in the offseason. Like, I totally agree with that. Like, you want somebody good to represent it, but planting the flag in the O, I don't know. That just seems a little ridiculous to me. I mean, that's a topic for a whole other day. The kid, he's an athlete. He's competitive. I don't know. He's a college kid, He made a rash decision. It wasn't even, that isn't the worst decision he's ever made. People have made worse decisions. So, you got anything else to talk about with the Sooners?
Not necessarily with the Sooners. Right now I think it's a great thing to be a sports fan in Oklahoma.
Oh, definitely.
You got Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, Russell Westbrook on the Thunder. Then you got Baker Mayfield in the run for Heisman, and OU in the contention for the playoff.
Oh,
also OSU, they just lost to TCU, but they're not out of it.
Oh, yeah.
They got to win out, beat OU, win that Big 12 championship, and they could be in the running, as well as their quarterback Mason Rudolph. He's still in the running for Heisman. He can still clean up his game, pick up his game.
Can't forget about the Pokes.
Can't forget about them. They're still in it. Don't give up on them, and hopefully they can bounce back.
All right, awesome. We have a question? All right.
Nick Cannon asks, what do you think our biggest obstacle is this season, OSU? What do you think OU's biggest?
Okay.
OSU, TCU, that's obviously those are two big games. You just saw TCU beat OSU. They've shown they're tough. OSU is obviously a bedlam rivalry. That's always a big game, tough game. Never know what's going to happen with that. Also, Texas. Can never forget about Texas. Texas can shock you. A few years ago, they shocked OU.
Yeah, it's weird what rivalries will do, especially just for me personally, knowing so much about the Red River rivalry. I'm proud of myself for getting that. Yeah. You can't count out Texas ever. It doesn't matter how bad of a season it is, just because. I mean, Texas is going to play 120 times better and with more intensity against OU, just because it's OU and it's a pastime, it's tradition. So So TCU and OSU, you think that's the biggest contenders? What do you think about OSU? So, we got another question? All right, we'll go ahead and go to another question. I'll get my thought later.
Standard if they're looking at Baker's stuff and not Winston's. And then I think he also wants Dylan's opinion on that as well.
About what?
About Jameis Winston, all those guys that want it.
You might explain.
Yeah, you might.
Yeah, that obviously played a factor, but there's also some voters that just focus on performance, and that was just one voter. That doesn't mean it was all voters. It just your performance really should matter the most, I should say. But some of these old time guys, they still think about your off field activities. Maybe it shouldn't. It just depends on how you feel about it.
Yeah. Do you want to explain to everybody the situation with Jameis, or what's his name? I can't even say that.
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston. You want to explain that situation if you have it? I hate to put you on the spot.
He was caught shoplifting crab legs out of a grocery store. He was caught with that. It was like a couple $100 worth.
Okay.
It was ridiculous. And then he also, on Florida State's campus, said a very vulgar phrase that I do not want to repeat on live stream.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't right at the time.
Okay.
It just wasn't very good.
Yeah. So, that's a tricky one. You think they're really overlooking that, or do you think maybe just Baker he's in the headlines a little more now. I mean, I don't know how it is nationwide with everything. Like, I don't know what they're seeing in Iowa. I don't know what they're seeing about Baker Mayfield. But Baker Mayfield around here has been just dominating headlines when it comes to Oklahoma sports just because he is... I lost my train of thought. You guys were moving around too much. What was I talking about?
I just saw Baker Mayfield was
Yeah, he's dominating the headlines right now. He's a hot topic. So I wonder if that's if everyone's seeing that and they're just thinking about Baker Mayfield a lot. So they're putting a little higher pedestal on Baker Mayfield over the other guys.
And I just want to clarify something. Maybe it's just this is the way these guys are feeling, during the season, but at the end, it's counts, final vote.
Mm-hmm.
They're most likely going to put that performance over off the field. It's still off the field. It's still bad. I'm not trying to say it's not a bad thing. It's still a bad thing with what they're doing off the field, but I mean they're just looking at their performance when it comes to the final vote. That's probably what happened with Winston. Maybe with there's stuff about Johnny Manziel. His activity.
Yeah. You got anything else for us?
It's more on the same stuff.
More on the same stuff. What do they got to say? If you want to read it, go ahead.
Abigail says, "Don't forget about the rape accusations." All caps.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like that was a big deal. I think it's. I don't know if it's still going on. I don't think it is. I don't know that much about the situation. I just know it was happening. But I think it's closed now.
Yeah. That was Blaine that talked about overlooking. Yeah, that's a good point, Blaine. Thanks for the input. Hopefully, the committee sees it right. They give everybody a fair chance. Hopefully, the right guy wins it. Someone to represent the trophy well. Someone that is the best athlete in the NCAA. You have anything else to add? Any more questions? No more questions? Anything else to add?
Yes. If you'd like to come on and talk sports with us,
good call.
Let us know. Message me, message him, comment down below for the video. Also, if you want to play music.
Yeah.
We're looking for, performers, anything. If you want to be on the show, let us know, and we'll find a time that's right for you, and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. If you are an artist, anything, you got any kind of artistic ability, it doesn't matter. You can live paint or something. That'd be pretty dope. Not at Devin's house. Don't worry, Devin. Thank you. I had to make a shout out.
Thank you for letting us use your house.
Devin Haley Studios. That's what we'll call it. Thank you so much for letting us use your stuff. I want to plug Simpson Studios again real quick. Simpson Studios is an audio recording studio based out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, for just $250 a song, and with discounts for larger projects, you can get a fully mixed and perfectly mastered product ready to send to your fans. The website is simpsonstudiosok.com. Go check out some of the other songs he's done and get back to us. This is the Sports Deprived Minute, brought to you by Pencil Rocket Creative.